prediction, crash, and also possibly a shutdown of the stock market on March 13th, 2026. The date that this video is posted proves that this prediction is being made ahead of time, as does this time-stamped email and forensic notes PDF document. If you are skeptical for some reason, please email me and I will forward these to you. This email, or also this video, is documenting the prediction that the US stock market will crash on Friday, March 13th, 2026. Specifically this date. It'll be a black swan financial event, which is an unexpected, shocking event. It is predicted that also this will be the initial shocking event, the initial shock to what will become the biggest stock market crash in history. It is also predicted, or also I should say speculated, it's not necessary for this prediction, but it's also speculated that on March 13th, trading will be temporarily halted. The loss in the S&P 500 stock index on March 13th is speculated to be large enough to trigger a circuit breaker that temporarily shuts down trading. Trading is halted when the S&P 500 index loses 7%, 13%, and 20% in one trading day. In other words, the S&P 500 index is speculated to lose on this March 13th date 7% or possibly 13% or 20%. And again, the post date of this video and this email and forensic notes PDF document is documenting that this prediction is being made ahead of time. This knowledge of this prediction for March 13th, 2026 has been known since early or late February. Late February. Well, the date here is March 7th in this email, but this was known a week or two even before this. In Strong's Hebrew Bible Concordance, H 226, the 226th word in the concordance, is the word that means prophetic sign. On Black Monday in 1987, the Dow lost 22.6%, which obviously hints at H 226, making this a prophetic sign. On the anniversary of the 1987 stock market crash of 22.6%, an MD87 owned by 987 Investments LLC crashed while on its way from the fourth biggest city to game number 4. This anniversary of the 22.6% loss was exactly 226 weeks before the fourth deadliest avalanche in U.S. history, when snow crashed from a mountain peak, as in stocks crashing from a high peak. 8 people were reported killed in the avalanche that was near where Interstate 80 was closed at Donner Pass due to snow. Now, there's a lot of prophetic significance to this Donner Pass connection, which I explain in the Donner Pass video. Make sure you watch that other video. I'm only scratching the surface of what's going on here. Now, okay, so 8 people died in the avalanche near where the Interstate 80 was closed at the Donner Pass due to snow. Just like the avalanche killed the people with snow. The skiing expedition was led by 4 guides. The snow suddenly crashed onto skiers led by 4 guides near the closed interstate highway on the same day that 4 people died in car crashes in a car pileup on the interstate highway in Colorado due to a sudden, quote unquote, brownout when soil was whipped up and blown over the interstate, making visibility not possible, causing the car pileup. The cars were northbound towards Denver, Colorado, and on this same day, the 80s coach of the Denver Nuggets died. The 4th deadliest avalanche and the 4 deaths in the crashes in Colorado were exactly 400 and plus 400. The 4th deadliest avalanche and the 4 deaths in crashes in Colorado were exactly 444 plus 444 plus 444 days after the Colorado Avalanche won the Stanley Cup. And God repeats the number 3 times for emphasis of its symbolic meaning. The 80s coach died on the same day of the death of the first serious black presidential candidate who ran for president in the 80s. Jesse Jackson was the founder of the Rainbow Coalition, and he died on the date 2/17, which is the date that the sudden and unexpected flood judgment began in the Bible, and the symbol of this judgment is a rainbow. The Rainbow Coalition guy died on the date 2/17, which is astounding because it hints at the rainbow. A black swan event is a sudden and unexpected event. The first black presidential candidate's run for president was a black swan event in American politics. Jesse Jackson's death was on the same day as the unexpected, sudden, deadly avalanche and sudden, deadly car crashes in a sudden brownout, in a sudden, unexpected brownout. The black swan candidacy of the first black presidential candidate was in 1984. He paved the way for the first black president, who was born on the date 8/4. And the name Obama is equal to 84 in Hebrew gematria. The 80s coach of the Colorado team died when 4 people died in the car crashes on the interstate in Colorado. This hints at the number 84, right? 80s coach, 4 deaths, Colorado. This was the same day that the Interstate 80 was closed near where 8 people died in the skiing expedition led by 4 guides, and it was the 4th deadliest avalanche. This, too, hints at the number 84, right? Interstate 80, 8 deaths, 4 guides, 4th deadliest avalanche, 84. The death of the 84 black swan candidate and these black swan disasters on the date 2/17 hinted at the number 84 and the sudden and unexpected black swan event that is predicted to be a plane crash that will lead to the sudden and unexpected black swan return of the first black president to the White House. The death of the 84 black swan candidate, the black swan fall of snow that killed 8 people in the 4th deadliest avalanche, the death of the 80s coach for Colorado, and the 4 deaths in the car pileup in Colorado were 4 days after the sudden and unexpected fall and crash of the heavily favored to win figure skater dressed like a black swan, nicknamed Quad God, as in quad being four, who is the four-time U.S. national champion. As a result of his shocking and unexpected black swan collapse, he finished in 8th place, which also hinted at 84, right? Four-time champion, finished in 8th place, nicknamed Quad God, right? The black swan skater finished in 8th place after his shocking and unexpected crash, and he was the last of the 8 plus 8 plus 8th skaters to skate in the event. The death of the 80s coach, the death of the Black Swan 80s candidate, the closure of the I-80, and the death of 8 skiers in the Black Swan avalanche on the date 217 is 8 plus 8 plus 8 days before the predicted Black Swan stock market crash on March 13th. Also, this date 217, like I said, hints at the flood judgment, which began on the date 217, the unexpected sudden flood. And from the flood judgment, 8 people were rescued in the ark. All right? And that's why from this flood date, we have, which was the day of the death of the 80s coach, the death of the Black Swan 80s candidate, the closure of the I-80, and the sudden unexpected death of 8 skiers in the Black Swan avalanche on the date 217, which hints at the 8 people that were rescued in the flood, is 8 plus 8 plus 8 days before the predicted Black Swan stock market crash, sudden unexpected crash on March 13th. And March 13th will be 2 years, 10 months, and 7 days, which hints at the date 217, before the predicted Black Swan return of the first black president on January 20th, 2029. 2 years, 10 months, and 7 days hints at the date of the sudden and unexpected date of the flood in the Bible on the date 217. It also hints at 9/11 when the sudden, unexpected 2 planes crashed 17 minutes apart into the 2 towers. The sudden and unexpected Black Swan return of the first black president will be the result of a predicted sudden and unexpected Black Swan plane crash, as in the 9/11 sudden unexpected plane crashes, that will be due to a bird strike, another hint at Black Swan, in the 8 plus 8 plus 8th state, which is more confirmation of the 8 plus 8 plus 8 days to the crash on Wall Street, which is where 9/11 happened, where the planes crashed, 2 of them 17 minutes apart. The predicted sudden and unexpected Black Swan return of the 44th president is why the skiing expedition was led by 4 guides when the Black Swan 4th deadliest avalanche occurred on the same day that 4 people died in the Black Swan brownout car pileup. Again, the skiing expedition led by 4 guides in the 4th deadliest avalanche and the death of 4 people in the car pileup was 440.00% of a year after the plane crash in the 4th biggest city, the plane that was on its way to Game 4 on the anniversary of the Black Swan Black Monday stock market crash. This is merely scratching the surface of the reasons for how this prediction is known in advance. For more information, please visit Odyssey, spelled ODYSEE.com, or rumble.com video channels named Asteroid Prediction. And also read the website TrumpPrediction.com. Also, Jesse Jackson was with Martin Luther King Jr. when he died. And when he was shot in Memphis, Tennessee, that also was a black swan event, a sudden, unexpected event.